Hi, I'm Shelby VanValk. I'm a cosplayer and a seamstress, and by day I'm a plumber.
Hi, I'm James Hannon, author of Anatomy Cosplayer, Tales from Behind the Mask, and welcome to Cosplayer Hotspot, where we interview cosplayers from around the region and find out what makes them tick. Today we got Shelby VanValk,
Hi!
pretty popular customer, does Dean Hardscrabble, Maleficent, Pennywise, and a whole bunch of others, and we're going to hear her cosplay exploits. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Alright.
I actually started out with the Renaissance fairs. I would go to them and have fun making my own costumes. Then my friends actually came to me and said, hey, you read comics, do you know that you can actually go to conventions and still dress up as your favorite characters? So that's how I started. The costumes I have are Dean Hardscrabble, Ursula, Maleficent, Apocalyptic Peach, Bride of Frankenstein, Godmother, who's an original character, Pennywise, Squirrel Girl, Ragdoll, and I'm trying to complete all the Queen Aladamas. I'd have to say my favorite right now, it would be Ursula, especially with the Descendants movie coming out and Ursula having a daughter. A lot of little ones dress as her, so I get to really interact with them, and she even has a small little song. Ursula was actually one of my first costumes. She happened because I came across black curtains and a black dress in the thrift store along with purple sheets, and I took it home and went, what character could be this? And Ursula popped in my mind because she's been one of my favorite villains. And as she started, I had her, and then I added Flotsam and Jetsam, which the way I do that is they're invisible string off my arms so that it looks like they're swimming around me when I talk with my hands. And the nice part is I actually made hidden pockets in them, so they're also my purse for the day. You gotta make sure you have a place to put the cell phone. But, and then from there, she just keeps evolving. Now I made the little seaweed creature here, and I even got the crown and the Triton. So I can do all forms of her. Fairy Godmother was my first attempt at a transformation costume. I love Helen Carter and I love Cinderella, so when the new movie came out, I went, I have to be the fairy godmother. She's puffy, covered in glitter, and that would drive everyone crazy. So I decided I would make her transformation. So what I do is I actually start her as the beggar. So I'm actually bent over holding my ankles as I'm walking, and the beggar's on top. Then I flip up and spin, and as I'm flipping up, I actually become the fairy godmother, which in the fun process is as I'm flipping, I get to spread glittery joy to anyone close by me. Maleficent from the animated movie Sleeping Beauty. I actually have it where I'm her human form in the front with Diablo, and my staff lights up, and then as I raise my arms, the flames from her curse, they actually light up that are above me, and then as I turn around, it's actually her full dragon out my back. It was a fun challenge on how can I make two costumes, me being only able to fit in one, and a full another one on my back. So that's where my construction came in. So I was able to figure her out. I took a backpack and I built a PVC frame off of it. And then from there, I constructed her full dragon head out of a foam piece, cardboard, and duct tape. The biggest trick I wanted to be able to do for her is I made her own stand. So when the dragon gets a little too heavy, I can actually take the dragon off. She has her own stand, so she can stand beside me, and in human form I can stand beside her and then still wander the con comfortably. She came about because I was watching my cousins and they showed me Monsters University, and then the next day I was with my godmother and we were just talking about favorite characters, and I brought her up because I just love the entrance in the movie where she shows up and she's up in the top and then all the blinds close and then she flies in and then she's there. It's just her presence, I think, was what caught me to want to do it. The head here, it's actually a foam head with a salad bowl attached to it. We try to keep it light and airy. And then my head is actually in the neck area, so we made this so that the head's supported by itself. And that's actually just cardboard and duct tape, so I use a lot of that, but the reason I always duct tape it is so it's waterproof. And then as we went down, we got to her legs, and I couldn't figure that out, and then one day I came across an old skateboard, and the idea came to me. I took it apart, put lawnmower wheels on it, and then with that, since they're plastic, I could drill into them. So I drilled metal bars into that, so that then when it rolls and I attach the legs, they would go up and down, as they would. So I think all that together formed her, and to be honest, she's been my scariest build yet, because I didn't know where to begin, and then I started and went, wow, I actually can do this. I would love to actually be able to start doing kids parties with her, but my biggest dream would be to have Disney actually contact me and say, hey, we'd actually like to put her into the park because she's one of the characters that isn't in the park yet, and that we'd like you to be help on the build. Pennywise got started because I actually used to be terrified of clowns. My friends figured that out when I actually met my now boyfriend, Mike. He was dressed as Pennywise, and I couldn't figure out why my friends kept telling me not to turn around until we left the con, and then they actually said that there was a Pennywise there, and they didn't want me to freak out because I actually sometimes can faint if a clown gets too close. Once we realized actually who he was, I actually asked him if he could help me get over the fear. A lot of it was actually just knowing there was someone under the mask. I guess my biggest fear was not being able to see people's facial features. Hey, it's just a crazy person under a mask. I decided to do the new Pennywise when I heard it was being remade. So I actually created the costume off of works of art, I guess you can say. Since the movie and trailer haven't came out yet, I just researched as many photos as I could. So, because that's why a lot of people ask me, why is your outfit blue and not white? Because the original art pieces actually had him be a slight tint of blue in the costume. So I created that, and then I asked Mike to give me a lesson in being creepy and what a clown's all about. It seemed to work because when I wore it to my first convention, a lot of people loved it. They said the best thing I have is the laugh. And the other funny thing that came was no one actually knew I was the new Pennywise. Instead, we were getting called Pennywise and Pennywife. And then once the new movie came out, everyone went, oh my word, now we know who you are. I actually started getting into sewing through my grandmother. She first originally taught me how to crochet. So if you notice, a lot of the pieces I have, there's always one small piece that's crocheted to honor her, because she realized I was different than all her other grandchildren. I couldn't sit still and watch a movie. So she taught me to crochet so that I could learn to actually not get upset, be able to sit with everyone and watch a movie, which later on they found out that I have ADD and ADHD. So she actually saw it and helped me home it through crocheting, which then led to sewing when I actually blew out my knee for a year from ice hockey. I couldn't do anything. I got really depressed. So my grandmother taught me how to sew, because she's like, you love to crochet, let's actually make a plushie out of fabric. So as I was in high school, of course, like the grunge, the punk, the goth styles came out, which we all know Hot Topic and all that wasn't cheap when you were in high school. So my grandmother taught me how to look at a picture and recreate it, being able to afford it. With the bigger builds, a lot of them are around. So actually me being a plumber has helped. For Dean, she has a little bit of PVC piping in her, and my newest costume, Maleficent, actually the dragon is a full PVC skeletal outline attached to a book bag. So between the mix of being that unusual kid and not having a very normal career, I guess, has helped me even grow more as a seamstress. The easiest way is either through my Facebook or Instagram. They're both the same name. It's under Shelby VanValk, except for Instagram you have the little underscore in between Shelby and VanValk. Or you can also email me at svanvalk88@gmail.com. I check my emails every day. My best costume experience is actually with a lot of them. My favorite part, and the reason I still cosplay, is to see the little kids just look at me, smile, and bring their favorite character to life. I wasn't able to go to Disney World till I was 21, and I have to say, when I met Baloo and King Louie for the first time, I felt like I was 5 years old again. And knowing that it is a place not a lot of kids or people can go to, I like trying to bring it to them. So when they see me and Dean or Ursula or now even Maleficent, just seeing these little kids just light up and want to conversate with you, and just getting the little hugs from them is just, I think, just the best experience you can get. My worst costume experience, I'd have to say, was when my first time going to New York Comic Con. It was the first time I brought out Ursula. My cousin and I, we were walking to the Javits Center, and I had someone come up to me and go, "Cosplayers suck." Stepped on my tentacle of my dress as I was trying to walk across the road, and with that, it actually ripped and broke the zipper on my dress. So I actually ended up having to grab a hold of my costume, go back to the hotel, and spend an hour fixing it before being able to go back to the con. And I have to say, after spending 2 months on that costume, I was in tears after that happened. For myself, I would just like to keep improving. I actually was thinking of even trying some historical garments and mixing them into characters that fall back into those eras. I think it would be fun to try to recreate the Disney princesses, but in actually historical based costumes. For me, I'm not sure where I see cosplay going, because like I said, I started this back in 2008, 2009, and just seeing how big it's grown and how it has just expanded to, before when I first started, you had to be this character, you had to have this exact to make it look like the picture, and now how everyone's having fun, bringing twists to the characters and everything, and just everyone's just bringing their own soul into characters. It's amazing to see, and I hope it just keeps on building. To be honest, I consider myself a little bit of both. More a costumer. I love creating. I love bringing everything together into giving it life. But as for a cosplayer, I have difficulty sometimes, because I feel with being a cosplayer, you should be full in character and keep with it, especially being around kids, because that's just, they're there to see the character.
Okay, and the real last question. How do you put up with Mike McManis?
Oh, it's very easy.
Hey! Get out of here!
All you have to do is feed him and give him cuddles at night, and he's a dream to take care of.
Ugh.